What is happening, YouTube? How y'all doing today? It is Monday. Welcome to Monday. We got a bunch of stuff to cover today, so this one might be a little bit longer than normal. My name is Joe, just your average Joe. Uh, Hanging out in the garage like normal. We got some sales to go over. Not a ton. Dollar amount was not bad, but not a ton of sales. We got a ton of comments. Obviously, the little clickbait, eBay's dead on the title. It tends to get a lot of people in. Uh, so definitely got like 40 comments to cover. So I'm going to try to cover them quick, maybe not even touch all of them today, maybe do some of them tomorrow. But we'll definitely go over some comments and address some of the questions or comments that folks have. Do appreciate everybody hanging out. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't subscribed. If you like anything you will see, if you like any of the content that I put out, if I dropped a nugget or two to help you along your journey, make sure you subscribe. It definitely helps support the channel and definitely helps support the community. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start with sales first and show what we got, what sold, and then we will move on to comments while I pack. And so my mail lady may come through. I may have to ask her to come back, but we'll tackle that when and if it happens before I get everything packed up. So let's go ahead and start. First, we had 10 sales between Friday when I jumped off of here until right now, Monday early afternoon. It's 1 o'clock, a little late. Got a little late start today, but 10 sales for a total of $823.16. So not a ton of sales, but decent dollar amount. Not great, but decent dollar amount. My goal is 200 a day. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday into Monday, technically right at 3 or so days, 200 a day, 200 a day, $600. So we did meet goals. So that's good. Not quite going to hit my deposit goal for the week. I think I'm going to be about $400 shy of my deposit goal, which it's $1,400 for the week. I'm sitting at like $1,117 right now to deposit tomorrow. And obviously I got to pack this stuff, which will probably cost me about $50-$60. So I'll probably be around the $1,050 range. So I'm going to be about $350 short on my goal. Not the end of the world, considering, things have been kind of on eBay. I mean, I can't, obviously it could always be worse. It could definitely be better, but, I did put up a bunch of stuff today on eBay and yesterday. I spent pretty much a lot of the day yesterday. I went out and did 2 marketplace deals yesterday for some military stuff, and put that stuff up on eBay yesterday. Did a whole bunch of video games that I had sitting around from that bundle that I picked up that I showed you guys. I picked up that big bundle of stuff, 3 containers full of just games and systems. So I got through a lot of that stuff yesterday, and then this morning I did hammered out another probably 15-20 games on eBay, all low dollar stuff, like $10 to $15 games, nothing crazy. So and then I got some more military stuff on my plan is, once I get off here, is to get that stuff up as well. So that's it. That's kind of what's been happening over the weekend. Go Lions. Lions got a dub. Man, we smashed the Titans, man. Smashed them. Absolutely smashed them. Any Lions fans out there, give me a hell yeah in the comments. Let's go Lions. But anyway, let's go ahead and get started and show off what sold, and then we'll dive into comments because there's a lot of them. First thing that sold was a military. Talk about military stuff. I picked this up early yard sale season this year, like probably back in March, April time frame. Picked this up, but of course it's a bomber jacket, military issue bomber jacket. Or flight jacket. So I picked it up for like $8, if I remember correctly. Sold for $100. So finally, with it getting cold, some of this stuff will sell. Next thing that sold was an Adidas, reversible Adidas jacket, hooded jacket, Adidas. The inside is, the gray section is a little janky. It's a little, where's the Adidas logo? There it is. The inside is a little stained on a couple spots, but nothing bad. The colored side is very nice condition. But anyway, I think I probably picked this up for $5 if I remember correctly. Also been hanging on to that for quite a while as well. I want to say early yard sale season this year, like back in February, March timeframe. That sold for $30 plus shipping. A PS4, white PS4 controller. I always sanitize and clean these all up, make sure they work and test them. That sold for $24.99 or $25 plus shipping. If you ever pick up a game bundle, like a system bundle, and it's got Metal Gear Solid, it's always a solid pickup. $18 plus shipping. Naturo Rise of the Ninja disc only, sold for $21 plus shipping on that one. Naruto. Let's see what else sold. We sold. The big sale was the digital camera. I just picked this up the week before last, yard sale. I hadn't been yard sailing. I didn't go this weekend either. But I hadn't been yard sailing in probably a month and a half, almost 2 months. I've been sitting on inventory, vacation, busy, just whatever. But I did go yard sailing to a local spot, and then hit up a couple others that I happened to see on my way back home. Didn't go like heavy yard sale, but I ended up picking up the Rebel Canon for $50 with an extra lens, 2 batteries, charger, and I always throw in a case as well. I always throw in. I buy these in bulk typically for cameras and for switches and things like that. I pick them up for a couple dollars, like a bulk deal, like 10 of them. And they usually, I don't know, $2, $3, $4. It ends up breaking down to like $2, $3, $4 a piece, probably about $4 a piece or so. But I always have those to throw in with the cameras and switches, Nintendo switches. I do the same thing. I buy them in bulk, like 32 gig, and I put them in with the switches. So anyway, that sold for $270 plus shipping. So that was a pretty good score, pretty good turnaround on the money, and pretty quick. Cameras are usually pretty quick. So that was nice. That was the big score for the weekend, and a nice turnaround. 50 and a 270, can't go wrong there. NBA 2K22, a whopping $7 free shipping. Just getting that up out of here. Somebody sent me an offer, and I knew that was going to sit for a long time, so I said I'll take the $7. I'll make a buck on it, maybe two, after shipping and fees. So that's up out of here. Sold a PS3 for $117 plus shipping. I'm not going to break the whole thing out, but I'll just show you guys the PS3 Slim. With some games in it. Always bundle games with your systems, guys. It helps you get a little bit more out of them, or makes them more desirable as well. So not only can you get a few more dollars out of your system, it also makes it a little bit more desirable. So that's a win-win. Next thing is a game, and again, that's a $117 plus shipping. Game Boy Color purple with some games, nothing crazy, all filler games. Again, filler games, add filler games, because I'm not going to sell these for $5 on eBay free shipping, or $7 free, even though that did go for $7 free shipping. I had it up for $9.99, but I knew nobody would pick this up at $9.99. So when somebody sent me the $7, I took it. I just needed to get rid of it. But normally I don't put games up unless it's at least 10 or better. So all these filler games like Mary Kate and Ashley, this is actually a decent one. X-Men Mutant Academy, I think it's like $7. That's free shipping, $7. It's just not worth it to me. I just rather bundle it with the system and get it out of here, kind of thing. So it makes it more desirable, and then I don't have to, I'm not trying to nickel and dime games that sit around for a year before somebody buys it for $6. And then, obviously I'm being a little contradicting, because the 2K game, that was the exception to the rule, because normally I don't put those up or take $7, or put something up that's going to sell for $7, because it's not worth it. But by the time I pay for shipping, what, I get $1.50? Whoopee. Anyway, Game Boy, it doesn't have the hard plastic thing in it, but it's just the case only. So for $8 plus shipping, and I believe that's the last sale. Yep, that's everything. That's 10 sales, 8/23/16. Obviously, that's not including shipping or fees. So after shipping and fees, probably closer to 700 or so. But anyway, that's all we got. So I'm gonna start packing this stuff, because my mail lady's gonna come pretty soon. And then let's dive into comments. We had like 40 some comments from that post that I put out, or from my last video. So let's go ahead and start going over. Why is this not? Oh, I'm already all the way at the bottom. Maybe that's why. All right. So let me put the old replied on newest video. Replied on newest video. All right, folks, let's go ahead and dive in. First comment up is from Paul's Fines. Paul's Fines says, people are $3 trillion in credit card debt. Yeah, are they? I mean, I don't think that usually makes a difference, to be honest with you. I mean, maybe it does. I don't know. But, I mean, people have always been in tons of credit card debt. There's more people now than there ever was. The population's at a bigger place than it was. So if you try to compare credit card debt today to 10 years ago, well, how many more people are out there today than there were 10 years ago? So obviously debt would be higher. So I don't always, you got to correlate that kind of stuff. And people usually just look at the surface number and be like, well, we've had the highest credit card debt in history. Well, but we also have the highest population in history at this point, right? I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I mean, I don't know the numbers, but I'm pretty sure there's more MFers in the United States today than there was 10 years ago. I'm just saying, so therefore we would account to having more debt now too, wouldn't we? I don't know, but you're not wrong. I mean, I understand your point, but that's I don't believe that's why eBay is slowing down. I believe it's more so eyeballs are other places, because you look at all these other platforms, people are still spending money all the time. And there's still lots of people out there. Just as many people don't have money and are strapped and are having a hard time paying their bills. There's just as many people that have plenty of money, have tons of disposable income, and can spend and do whatever they want. So I mean, there's always both sides of the spectrum. So yeah. Anyway, well, that's just, I'll leave it at that, because I could go on and ramble on that for a while. Let's go to get shipping labels on my shipping and see where we need to start. We need to start with the jacket. Got it. All right. Next comment up is Winston Wolf says, love the sky is falling title, Joe. The show. Winston, appreciate you commenting. And every once in a while I got to put out a little clickbait on there. I mean, we anytime I talk about the stuff, and it comes up, I kind of, it was relevant to what we were talking about in that video. And so that's why I put that in the title. But yeah, I always got to kind of put a little clickbait out there. So let me, what I think I'm going to use is can I use this bad boy? Why not? This is reuse this thing. Why not? It's just a jacket, and there you go. So there's that. Taping this thing back up might be a little bit more challenging. Let's see how we want to do this. You know what? We're going to do it just like this. All right, next comment. Let's keep going on comments. Winston, appreciate you, man. Thank you for your support. The next one, Post It, says, "Yup, eBay fees and eBay fees and kill some desire. I think all kind of desires to want to list items. No profits or low profit, if any. Now, maybe I'm reading that wrong. Yup, eBay fees and all kill some desires to want to list items." I guess you're saying that the eBay fees kill your desire to list stuff, and there's no profits and low profit, if any. I'm gonna have to disagree. Post it on that one. At least from my seat, I'm gonna have to disagree. I mean, like this jacket was $5 and I made 30 on it. I mean, every platform is going to have fees, so it's just a matter of how much you want to spend on fees. I mean, Whatnot's like, 13% or something like that on Whatnot. TikTok Shop is like 13% on TikTok Shop. I mean, eBay, I don't even know. eBay is 10 to 15%, depending what category you're in or something like that. I mean, there's going to be fees everywhere you sell. I mean, Amazon's going to have high fees. I mean, in order to have that platform, they're going to charge fees. Luckily, I mean, Marketplace still hasn't gotten there yet, but I promise you at some point, Marketplace is going to start charging fees too. I promise you guys. It's going to happen at some point. There's too much money left on the table for Marketplace not to eventually charge fees through their platform. I mean, maybe it won't be, maybe it'll be like a premium thing where you get, I don't know. They're going to do something eventually on Marketplace too. I promise you, it's going to happen. So, I mean, it's just a matter of time. There's so much money that Marketplace that Zuckerberg is leaving on the table when it comes to Marketplace. At some point, they're going to tap into that somehow. And start charging fees of some kind. I don't know, again, how they'll do it and how they'll structure it, but at some point that's going to be a thing too, with fees on Marketplace, I promise. But anyway, I mean, that's just the cost of doing business. There's going to be fees. You know, it is what it is kind of thing. 2.07. I'm going 2 pounds on that and calling it a day. All right, so let's keep this moving. It's already at 2 pounds. Perfect. All right, next one up is, let me put this stuff here in order. All right, next comment and the next item is my controller. So there's that. Next comment up. Let's see. Winston says, eBay, it's obscene. They charge up to 13% on buyers and on the buyer. Tax too makes it like 15% to sell fees. I mean, again, I'm just gonna repeat the same. Look, have y'all looked at the other platforms? So if you compare eBay to the other platforms, everything is pretty close. I mean, whether you go on Whatnot, TikTok, I mean, I don't know, Posh or Macari, they charge the buyer the fee or something like that. I don't know how they do it or something, but one of them charges the buyer the fee, instead of you the fee, but still somebody's paying that fee. So you got to take less for your item because they're charging them those fees instead of you. But either way, all the platforms are 10-ish, 10, 15%, no matter where you're selling now. It's unfortunate, but that is what it is. So there's that. All right, next one up. Let's go post it. Once again, appreciate your comment. Next one up is Ayo Gusto. Ayo Gusto. Got a little bag here, and that works out perfect for my controller. Ayo Gusto says, I appreciate you jumping in as well, Ayo Gusto. I know this is like your second or third maybe comment. Appreciate you hanging out. He says, a few YouTube sellers said that every time they touch something in inventory, it sells. I don't know, but maybe another eBay conspiracy. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. And somebody chimed in on that and said they were laughing at me about that because you actually physically touch your inventory. So I didn't realize that's what you were saying. I don't physically touch my inventory in hopes that it sells, but that's a superstition kind of thing, right? Or a superstition. But either way, yeah. So there's that. All right. Next one up is, let's see, Metal Gear Solid. Let me make sure the disc is in good shape. I always double check. Beautiful mint condition. Looks brand spanking new still. All right, and then the next comment up while I'm waiting on this. Let's see. It's 8 ounces on that one. Is that the mail lady coming through? Nope, that's FedEx coming through. Good old FedEx. All right, next comment up. Let me reply to this. Ayo Gusto. Appreciate you, Gusto, jumping in and commenting. The Dark 25. The Dark 25 says, yep, figured that was over, so there's that. All right, the Dark 25 says, what's been working for me in cross-listing on mainly Macari since eBay punished me for having 8 cancellations with the span of a year. I had a messenger chat with them. They confirmed that the low sales caused that they did to my account. I guess because of the cancellations, they confirmed that's what caused your low sales. I couldn't list anything for this whole month, and they wouldn't relist any of my posts. I used to be a top seller. If you have any cross-listing questions, feel free to ask. I'm on 5 other reselling platforms. Well, there you go. The Dark 25 Twitch. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you commenting, replying, and providing your expertise when needed, because I'll be cross-listing probably come January. I believe I'm going to start cross-listing, get more eyeballs on stuff. Next one up is a Rockin' Yard Sale LLC. Long comment, so hopefully let's see what this one says. You guys really can't be that blind. I don't know. I like how you start off here being real abrasive right at the beginning there. A rock yard sale. Anyway, you guys really can't be that blind. I'll give you some questions instead of just directly telling you. Well, directly telling would be better because, that would be better than asking questions, but that's okay. Research what eBay has been doing in New York City in the last 46 hours. You can even go back 6 days. Another question. Why don't you just tell us, man? Why you gotta? Now everybody's gonna go searching New York stuff. Like, come on. Another question to get you down the rabbit hole. How long did sales not really start slowing down, almost stopping? What is eBay on Facebook push? What is eBay on Facebook pushing right now, trying to get all of its sellers to go to? Pay-per-click promotions was a giant failure. Yeah, I haven't done any of the pay-per-click promotions because I think you pay too much up front, or for each click, and then you might not sell it, and you're still paying for clicks. So yeah, I haven't done that promotion. I mean, you can still choose what you want to do. It's not the only option. It still has the old school marketing promotion, which I use. But anyway, why is that your answer? The question above, you will know you're selling. You'll know why your sales suck right now. I'm tired of giving the answer. Man, you seem like a real like cool dude, man. I wanna hang out with you and have a beer. Anyway, either people just don't want to know or they don't care to know. And for the rebuttal for the end of this video, do you really think that selling on eBay, you're immune to tariffs that our country imposes on others, and products that their countries purchase, whether it's used or brand new, have to pay the tariffs if there's tariffs are enforced, and that country and government collects that money, not us? I mean, there's always been fees for other countries. There's always been like, what do they call it? Customs and import charges and things like that. I mean, I don't think that's. I mean, look, I don't know. Maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. You know what? I'm not even gonna reply. Hey, Rock and Yard Sale. Maybe you got to get some more sleep, man. I mean, you come across pretty abrasive in your comment. I can only imagine what you're like on a daily basis talking to you. But maybe you can enlighten us with, because I'm not going to go down the rabbit holes. If you want to answer the question or not, that's up to you. I mean, if but anyway, we're going to keep it moving. Thank you for commenting, a Rock and Yard Sale LLC. Hopefully you're having a wonderful day. Hopefully your day gets better, because it sounds like you weren't having a good day, maybe. I don't know. Let's keep it moving. All right. Next one up is Warpig. Warpig says, stop selling in more than 3 categories and your sales will improve. So focus on quantity in as few categories as focus on quantity in as few categories as possible, because the secret is repeat business. When you sell on Whatnot, you aren't starting a show selling diecast cars, Rolling Stone t-shirts, sewing machines, video games, board game pieces, a movie, a poster, and other random non-related items, because you want to create a show that brings in similar buyers to get the most out of your items. Treat eBay the same. Become competitively priced, stop running promotions and sales, and just focus on quality items that people actually want at high quantities. I'm gonna say I agree with the niche part, because that's kind of where I'm at. So this goes to these comments are general for everybody, because I asked the question for the community. So I'm not trying to take these questions or these comments personal toward me directly, but anyway, maybe they are toward me. I don't know. But I do agree with that. That's partly why I niched into games and have probably 75% of my store is game related stuff. The other 25% is just random. And I have seen an increase versus my other eBay account that I have my other eBay account is my original eBay account. And I used to do my thrift store stuff on that account. And the thrift store would see all types of items under all crazy different categories. It was all sorts of crazy shit. And what I've noticed, a big difference, because I've only had this eBay account up almost 3 years, and that eBay account's been up since 2000. Now, granted, we used that other eBay for the store starting about 7-ish years ago, for using it for the store. And we have a thrift store, so that was used for our thrift store. Still is, but we don't really have much up anymore. But when we were heavy on eBay on that account, I didn't get a ton of followers. I'm just now over like 100 followers on that account. It didn't gain a ton of followers because I had so many different types of items in so many different types of categories. Now I will say we sold a lot because we had so much different stuff that we were very successful in selling there too. And selling all those different categories. So I'm not going to say having a whole bunch of different items isn't going to be successful just as well. I understand your point for like Whatnot, because people are in watching and they have a certain niche that they're wanting to get into. But what I will say is the followers part of it on my new eBay account, the one that I have now that I've been using for the past 3 years or so, 2.5, 3 years, that I niched myself into video games over the past 2 years or so. I've gained, I'm almost up to like 250-ish followers in that small amount of time because I do more video game stuff and I do see a little bit more repeat buyers. So I'm not going to say you're wrong in your comment. I'm going to say, you're partially correct in your comment. But I also say from my experience, though, having a whole bunch of different stuff from a whole bunch of different categories on eBay is you're going to do just fine there too. Because that was me before I niched into video games. It was a whole bunch of different stuff because my experience was in a whole bunch of different items from doing storage units and doing eBay and running a thrift store. There were so many different types of things that we come across that you wouldn't even think were eBay items. And you look them up, you're like, holy cow, putting that on eBay because I'll never get $200 for that here in the store. Or, oh my gosh, I can't believe that sells for $300. I'm going to put that on eBay because I'll be lucky to get $30 in the $50 in the store for it. So that was kind of like, how uh, that process was. You learn through all the things that you get. Like there's so much stuff on eBay that, so many different categories you can sell in. Now, again, there's success on both on both of those. So I'm not going to say that you won't be successful because I've been there on that side, and I've also been successful so far. At least for me, be successful. Other folks may feel like I'm not, and that's okay. But for me, what I need and what I do, and the amount that I do it, and the fact that I've got other things going on, for me, I'm meeting the goal that I've set for myself for the most part. It's been a little shy lately of that, obviously, but and I don't agree with the promotions and sales discounts. I really don't. I mean, I do see an influx typically every time I start it in things moving, especially, older items and things getting out that were sitting around for a while. Now, you can go back to say, well, you didn't have it right priced properly, or you didn't have the title proper, or you didn't whatever. I mean, there's always things you can pick at, peel back the layers and figure out why it hadn't sold in so long. But I will say, and again, it's just me, and I've always been an advocate for it. I advocate for sales promotions and marketing discount, or the marketing promotion and sales discounts. So, but again, that's not for everybody. Commonwealth don't do it. Obviously, Warpig doesn't like it and doesn't want, says don't focus on it. That's the great thing about reselling is there's different strokes for different folks. There's not a right or wrong. It's all opinions based on your experience. If you haven't had to run promotions and you're selling just fine, then you are probably thinking to yourself, what is this guy talking about? I don't have to run promotions or discounts or any marketing or anything, and I'm fine. I'm selling just fine. And there may be other people out there that are struggling like crazy that have tried the sales promotions and discounts, and they'd be like, holy cow, it works. All I can say is I go off of my experience. For me, it's always worked, and it's always seen a boost. It's always helped me move more stuff. You can see in your sales things that it's sold via promoted or through sales discount. So, I mean, I don't know. Again, it's to each his own. It's really, that's the great thing about this is there's not a wrong answer. I mean, there's so many different ways to skin a cat. So there's multiple right answers. Let's put it that way. There is wrong answers for sure, but there is multiple right ways of doing things. But anyway, he goes on to say, become competitively priced. Stop running. Let's see. He says, now I know that may sound easier said than done, but this is only possible if people spend less time in the thrift garage sales and specifically sourcing these items. Never made sense to me to cross list, although, or at least in my category, most are buying from eBay anyway. I want people to find me in a single place so they can continue getting quality customer service with a platform that is best suited for my business. Also, I live in a state that requires an auctioneer's license to sell on whatnot, so it wouldn't ever be an option. I didn't realize that. Really? Are you sure about that? I mean, maybe I don't know. I'm not. I don't know. Maybe. And then, so thank you, Warpig, for the comment. Definitely some good stuff there. And then let's see. Diva NZ replies and says, the best comment I've ever read. In my store, there are days when I have no sales from new buyers, zero sales, but when the day ends, I have sold more than $1,000 to $2,000 in my repeat customers. What you mentioned is very true. You have to focus on good and quality products. Selling junk and random stuff only attracts scammers who want a particular item, and that's it. I mean, I okay. We'll drop the mic there on those comments and keep moving. And do I reply to this one? I can. All right. So let me reply to this one too. All right. Let's keep this thing going. Let's keep this party rolling. Let me actually pack my next item. Next item is Naruto. So lots to unpack there, though. I mean, I guess I kind of already touched on some of it. Yeah, I mean, I don't agree with the scammers part. I don't agree with the scammers part of that. But Diva NZ, I do appreciate you commenting and chiming in. Hopefully you subscribed and like the content. Yeah, I don't agree with the scammers part of it per se. I mean, eBay is a platform where people do come in and buy a lot of one-of things. And it's a platform where people find a seller that they enjoy buying stuff repeatedly from, depending on what your niche is. What is both of y'all's niche? Also, Warpig, I think you said you do like, I forget what you said you do, to be honest with you. Small stuff. So like is it games and things like that? I know it's things that are smaller and easier to pack. But like, let me know what both of you guys sell. What's your category? Like, what's your main category, and do you deviate out of that? All right, next thing up is the Adidas jacket, and Diva, let me know as well. Like, what's your niche? What's what's your category? All right, this one I'm gonna need probably a box. I may just throw it in this box. You know what? That's where it's going. It's going in this box. So there's that. All right, good to go. Where'd my tape go? How about that? Well, I don't know where my tape ran off to. Oh, could be right there. All right, there's that. Adidas jacket, a whopping 4 pounds. All right, next one up. Let's see, 4 is the camera. All right, let's go, keep going on these comments. I'll probably do some of these today and some tomorrow because we're already 33 minutes in, and yeah. So, all right, next comment up is Craig. Craig Win. The reason sales are slow on eBay is all of you YouTubers promoting sites like Whatnot where their stuff is 50% lower or more than eBay and can't figure out why they are destroying their own sales on eBay. Common sense. Pay $10 on eBay when I can get it for $2 on another site. I mean, I guess you're not wrong to some degree, but let's be real. Look, don't get me wrong. I've been watching Whatnot a little bit more lately, and you are going to find a lot of good deals on there, and you are going to find a lot of folks that are just resellers buying stuff to resell on eBay and things like that. It's the same thing with like marketplace. You know, you're buying stuff to flip it on a different platform. I don't promote Whatnot and all them, but you know, at the end of the day, I understand where you're coming from. There are a lot that like say, hey, watch me on YouTube or watch me on Whatnot, watch me on whatever, and you know, can you get deals on there? Absolutely, but a lot of times stuff sells for more. If you can get deals if the seller's small and they don't have a lot of people watching, but a lot of times those guys know that this said item goes for 20, and so they're not gonna put it up and run it unless they can get close to that price for it. Right. So if they don't have a lot of watchers, they're not going to put those things up. Now, do some? Yes. I mean, it's like anything else. You're going to come do. I was watching a dude the other day that was having a fire sale and he was getting rid of all of his inventory, and he sold, it was like a $200 game for like $60. So whoever won that's going to be able to flip it for at least $100. However, um, it's you're gonna. It's just like anything else. You can go on eBay and find people and find deals on stuff. There's times if you go on and look for lots of things, there's people selling stuff in lots that is like heck of deals, and then you can part it out, piece it out, and make money. I think that's called, was that arbitrage or something? I forget what that's called, but so at the end of the day, I'm not going to say you're not wrong, but I'm also going to say I don't believe that's why sales are slowing down. I just think just naturally there's other eyeballs on other platforms. I don't think it's because YouTubers are promoting the other platforms and then we question why our sales are slow on eBay. I don't think that's the reason or the correlation. I don't think that's the correlation. That is, I guess, what I'm trying to say. There is more eyeballs on other platforms because you can get good deals if you're a buyer looking for something specific. And and here's the thing: you got to sit on people's feeds for hours sometimes for that one item that you're like, oh my gosh, right? So who's to say they even have what you're looking for? So some people do just sit and watch people for an hour or two, and they do find that piece that they're looking for, and they do get a hell of a deal on it. Because on eBay it's $200, but they just found it from this guy on Whatnot for $120. You know what I mean? So yeah, I get it, but not everybody's wanting to sit on a live platform for hours on end trying to see if they have this or they have that. I mean, I see it all the time. People are running, retro games. They're running PS1 games, and the guy comes in and is like, hey, do you have N64 games? The guy, oh, yeah, we'll run them in a little while. I've got a bunch of them, but it'll be a little while. Well, unless you catch them in a little while when he's running them, then you're not going to catch them. And then who's to say you're not going to get outbid? Because I've seen things go higher than eBay too, which is crazy. So, because you're in that bubble, real time. People don't have time, especially the 10-second auctions. Like, people don't have time a lot, to look it up real quick and see what the comp is. Blah, blah, blah. So then it goes for more. I see it happen. Same with that same dude that I mentioned. He sold several of his games for more than comps. It was just like, why would you do that? Like, because you're in that bubble and it's live auction and it's live bidding. And so now this item is went for more for that sale. Again, I'm not going to say your comment's right or wrong. You are right and you are wrong in the same breath. So we can be both of those things at the same play in the same altogether. So he does have two replies. Let's see. Dirt is better says, but if you can sell 300 items a week at $2 or a few $10 items a month on eBay, the math starts looking way different, especially with all those eBay fees. Most Whatnot sellers are selling more than 300 items. So that was just for easy math. True. Look, for me, Whatnot is like and I'll say it, they normally hype up the good stuff and they have some good items, and then it's a lot of trash. I mean, that's the other thing with Whatnot. So yeah, you're selling a lot of stuff and that's great, but I mean, it's I could go on Whatnot and probably sell both of these stacks of video games for probably $1 or $2 a piece, $3, $4. Some go for $5, $6, $7, $8. Some go for $1, and just get rid of both of these stacks of games and just have that room and have that cash. You know what I mean? Or I can sit here and have them on eBay for a month, 2, 3, 4, and get premium out of them. Some of them are $30 games. Some of them are $35, to $40 to $50 games. Some of them are $8 games. It's to each his own. I mean, I got the room to let them sit here. But if I wanted to fire sale them on Whatnot, I could, because it's niche. It's I'll do a PS, PS2, PS1, Xbox 360 show and just get rid of them. 10-second auctions and just boom, 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 just to get rid of them. A lot of times that's what resellers use Whatnot for, is just to move the shit inventory. I don't know who's buying the shit inventory, but there's buyers for it. I don't know. But I mean, that, so you see a lot of that too. There's a lot of good inventory on Whatnot too. So don't get me wrong, but a lot of times they advertise the few good items, but 80% of the show is just a bunch of junk. And so you got to sit there and wait through all the junk to get to that 15-20% of the good. And then a lot of times that good goes for almost what eBay's charging. I'm not wrong, and I know there's this flip side of that coin that they get way less than the eBay rate, and so I'm not wrong there, but I know I'm right. And it's a platform to move a lot of junk inventory. dollar stuff, dollar stuff, dollar. It does add up. Dollar, 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 dollar. I got 300 items. I just made $200 off of 300 items at a buck a piece. But I can just wait. I can wait, and that's all in one day. I can wait for a week or two and sell $200 worth of stuff out of here and still have a bunch more inventory for stuff, and throughout the course of the month make $300 to $400 out of this stuff because I've waited. Or it could sit. I mean, who knows? But again, that goes back to there's no right or wrong. There is no right or wrong. It's what works best for you. If I need to clear shelf space, that's why I'm thinking at some point I probably will jump on Whatnot, because all these damn clothes that have been sitting here for a while, will they eventually sell? Yes. Will I eventually get a $30 pop on an Adidas jacket that I spent $5 for? Yes. Could I probably sell it on Whatnot for $10 to $15? Probably. But I was willing to sit on it to get the premium out of it. Same with this stuff. I'm willing to sit on it. Now, am I going to get to a point where I say enough is enough? Like, I'll give you an example. This is a good example. All these damn wrestlers. This would probably be my first show. If I did a Whatnot show, or when I do a Whatnot show, all these damn wrestlers. I've already sold out of them what I sell, what's going to be premium, and there's still probably 50 of them, 40 of them in here. That would probably be a Whatnot show that I just put them up for a buck a piece and get them the fuck out of here. Liquidate them and get some cash out of them and keep it moving. And that'd be one show. I'm wrestling figures, 40 figures, $1 a piece, 10-second auction. Get them out of here. I need them sold. And people would come in and buy them for a buck a piece, $2-3 a piece. And I'd make a whopping like $30 when it's all said and done. But at least that's $30 I can, more than I have them sitting up there, because I've already got my premium out of all of them. I've already sold all the good ones out of there that I put up. Those are all the ones that just aren't selling for whatever reason. I'm not going to keep waiting to try to get a premium on them. So Whatnot's got its pros. TikTok's got its pros. eBay has its pros. They all have their cons. It's like I said, there's no right or wrong in any of it. Craig replies and says, if you're lucky, they'd take home 50 cents on an item times 300 would only be 150. Meanwhile, they now have lowered the market value to $2 before fees. For a casual seller, it probably won't matter, but for making a living reselling, good luck on the long run. Again, yeah, I'm all about trying to get a premium for stuff, letting it sit for, I don't care if it sits for 3 to 6 months, sometimes longer, and try to get premium, or at least get more out of it, what closer to its market value. That's me. Some people have a small space and don't have a half a garage with 6 racks, a processing table, and racks for clothes and bins for things, and you don't have the space. I mean, I got half of a garage, half of a 2-car garage, and I've got a bonus room also, which has some stuff in it too. Some people just don't have that kind of space, so they need to just move. So Whatnot's a better option. They get something today, they sell it tomorrow. They get something tomorrow, they sell it the next day, and rinse and repeat. And it's that quick nickel instead of the slow dime, kind of like Chase After the Right Price, goes on to talk about. In fact, I haven't even watched his updated episodes on that. But that was what he was testing, is the quick nickel versus the slow dime. The quick nickel seems to be doing fine, and probably even better than the slow dime, because you immediately move that stuff. You immediately start getting rid of it instead of it sitting, and you take a loss on it, because once you're in the green, who cares? Just get rid of it, because you're rinse and repeat. You're getting more stuff again. So again, or you end up like this, where you got a bunch of stuff sitting in a garage that sells little by little. Or you can try to get it quick and just, like, for example, the military clothes I picked up yesterday. I picked up a thing of military clothes for $75. There's 12 sets of tops, 8 sets of bottoms that are all the same size. So I put those up. Based on comps, I should be able to get $200 for just those 20 pieces. And then that's not including, there's a bunch of other stuff in there, brand new with tags. Another probably 10 pieces or 8 pieces that are brand new with tags. So I broke it all up. I did the lot of the 20 pieces, and I put that up for $200. And, I could put it up for $75 and it'd probably sell quick. And then I can sell off the other stuff, and that's where I get my profit from. Or I can try to get 200 out of those and then sell all those and make even more. And so, if it's all different types of strategies, man. It's all, that's what I said before. There's no right or wrong in any of it. The question is why are sales slow for a lot of folks? I'm not saying so much me. I'm kind of I'm slowish but consistent right now. But there's a lot of people like Mark and other folks that have chimed in that said sales are dead, sales are slow. You know, they don't know what to do, and so I mean, I don't know. It's we'll see. All right, so the next one is W Collins. I focus on eBay and I don't cross list. W Collins, thank you for commenting and dropping a comment as well. Craig is the same. Dirty better, dirt is better in hands. Same thing. Thank you all for commenting. I focus on eBay and I don't cross list, and eBay is my only selling platform. You don't make anything unless you focus on listing, good photos, fair pricing, and good customer service. I set a growth year to date at 10% growth yearly. The best customer is the repeat customer. I'm not. You're not far. You're not far off. You're not far off. I'm not going to say eBay. I'm not going to agree with the best customer is the best customer is a repeat customer, but eBay tends to, there's not a ton of loyalty from my experience from eBay. I do have a lot of followers on eBay and I do get repeat buyers on eBay, but I have way more new buyers than I have repeat buyers. So I couldn't focus on just repeat buyers. I'll just say that. So I kind of don't totally agree on that part of it. I want new people buying from me because, you know, maybe eventually there'll be a repeat buyer. That's great. But at the end of the day, like if I was depending on repeat buyers, good luck. I wouldn't be selling shit. So I want new people. I want new eyeballs. I want new customers. But you are dead on by saying good listings, good photos, fair pricing, good customer service. Nailed it. Yes, I like it. Those are the things you want to focus on to have a successful eBay store. Absolutely. I mean, I would say, you know, I don't get a ton of negative feedback. And anytime there's a problem, I always take care of my customer. I mean, it's too easy to just have good customer service is a huge part of selling anything. Trust me, I was in customer service with AT&T for 10 years. Customer service goes a long, long way. Now, do I poke at customers sometimes? Could I handle something a little bit better sometimes? Could I not got emotional sometimes? If y'all been watching me a while, yeah, there's always room to improve. But I do take pride in providing excellent customer service, especially in cases where there is a problem. There was something that was not right that I take ownership on and I take care of. If it's something that I caused, I created, I take 100% ownership and I make it easy on the customer. That's the thing is, one of those things with AT&T was do it right. If any of y'all ever worked for AT&T, I forget all four of them, but there was four phrases or slogans that they used in customer service. One of them was do it right. Make it seamless was the one I wanted to just touch on. Make it seamless. Make it seamless for your customer. Don't give them a hard, like I'm dealing with a return right now with a bigger company that's got 100-some thousand feedback on eBay. That's one of those companies that just drop a ton of shit on their eBay and just, you know, they have no customer service hardly, and they're wanting me to take they're wanting me, it's joysticks for a Wii U that don't work. They're sticky and they don't work, and it's a cheap ass product, and I was like, I want to return it. I want it's not, it's defective. And they're like, oh, how about a 50%? Well, first they're like, send us pictures. I already put pictures in there. I'm like, well, dumb shits, I already provided pictures. The pictures are here. You can see that the joystick is just down. It's not where in the middle where it's supposed to be. It's fucked up. Then they're like, well, we're sorry about that. How about, you know, what they say? Are you sure you're using it on the right component? And I'm like, what do you mean? It's for a Wii U screen. Yes, I'm not even trying to install it. It doesn't work. It's sticking already. Like, so there's two strikes. Like, I just want to return this thing and you're giving me a hard time. Then they hit me with, how about a 30% discount or a 30% refund? Or keep it, you know, we'll send you a refund, but you can keep it and blah, 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 or send you 50% refund and you can keep it. And I'm like, no, I don't want a 50% discount. I want to return it for a full refund. And then they're like, finally, after like the fourth communication back and forth, which took them almost a week, over the course of a week, the fourth communication finally is, okay, don't worry, you can keep it and we'll refund you the money. Okay, whatever. Couldn't we have done that day one or day two instead of waiting a week? So those things that was not making it seamless for me. Like, it's like dragging this thing out a week for a return that you should just, like, mine are automatically approved. As soon as you do a return, it like automatically approves it. It's easy. Like, and if you message me and tell me there's a problem, 9 times out of 10, I'm on it within like an hour, and then we're going to come up with some resolution right then and there. Like, I'm not going to drag it out now, unless it's something delay in shipping or hasn't delivered yet, and it's showing it's delayed in shipping. Then we got to wait. In those cases, it's out of my control. We have to give the post office the time to do what they got to do. But once it's delivered and you tell me there's a problem, I'm gonna take care of you pretty quick. I'm gonna make it seamless. So anyway, so yeah, customer service, W Collins, I love it. And the same holds for the pictures, the good pricing. I do price high, so I'm probably not there with you on the good pricing. I could do a better job at pricing more competitively, or even lower, because I always have such good margins in my stuff. But I always shoot for the moon to start, and then I bring it down. And that probably, it's not the best strategy, but it's a strategy, and it does work, because I do sell stuff that for premium, like the Xbox, the control, the camera, the Xbox or the PlayStation controller, and you know, so there are things that I put up that it's shot for the moon and they sell. So that's why I always go shoot for the moon. I might as well shoot for the moon, try to get a premium out of it first before I start bringing prices down. But again, that's just my strategy, and I always do buy it now with make an offer. Some people are like, no, that's a lazy way to sell. If you're going to do auction or do, you know, have your price lower and competitive, and, you know, if you're going to take offers, like, don't do offers and this and that, just price your item accordingly, and you don't have to worry about offers and blah. You know, there's no right or wrong. I mean, there's always going to be a rebuttal on how to do things, always. But that's, again, there is no right or wrong. I don't totally agree. You don't totally agree. But if we're still both selling and we're still both doing okay, then there's more than one right answer then, obviously. So, all right, next comment up. Let me get the next item up. How about that? Next item is the camera, right? Yes, camera. All right, let me start packing this camera. So the next comment is, new subscriber, love your style video from number one, no one's profit. Actually, no one's profit. Let me well, no one's profit. I appreciate you. Like the channel. Thank you. Let me thumb up you and give you a little reply here. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for subscribing. And I'm glad that you like the style, because I'm just being me up around here. And that's how we do around here. I'll just be me. This is all raw and unedited. I may have put my foot in my mouth and not made sense a couple times, but, you know, that's how we do around here. But let's get this camera. Let's get this camera. A little bit more bubble wrap right there. How about that? Okay. And then this thing, a little bit more bubble wrap in here. And then we're going to do a little bit more on the top. And I think we're going to do a little bit of, no, you know what? We'll do a little bit more bubble. I got a bunch of bubble from all my recent orders, so I might as well use it. Next comment up is Eric. Eric Wynn, are you a niche seller, or do you do a little bit of everything? So Eric, I do a little bit of so both. I'm niched into video games. I mentioned it before. I'm niched into video games mainly because I collect video games now. So I've niched myself into video games, but I sell a little bit of everything. Like you see, Adidas jacket. What I had 10 items, and 10 items that sold. Most of them are video game related, but I had a couple clothes and yeah, just clothes. So where are you going? Get your nails done? Yeah. All right. We'll see you later. Bye. Love you. That's not a good one. You know what? I'm just going to use this box here. Bump it. Yeah, I'm niched into video games more now because I collect and I resell them. But I do pick up a little bit of everything. So like right behind me is, like, I don't know if you can see it, but that's a whole bunch of military stuff right there. I got a DVD player back here. I've got a purse back here. If I go through my inventory, you'll see a bunch of different stuff. Yeah, so to answer your question, I'd say if I had to put a number on it, I'd say 75-ish% of what I have in my store is video game related. and the rest is non-video game related. So I got a little bit of glassware over here, which doesn't sell very well. I got like Matchbox car. I got a train set. I got some cast iron. I got hats, Lego stuff, more Lego stuff, some cards, remote control, Netgear router, transformers, cameras, fishing equipment, some toys, some Funkos, some anime stuff, a Bose, but I like Bose stuff. So a Bose Sound Touch, some like AT&T phones, another router, shoes, another thing of military Kevlar shoes, a sewing machine, some glassware, another Netgear router, another purse, just toys. I mean, if it can make me some money, there's a keyboard, there's some board games sealed. I mean, if it can make me a couple dollars and I can flip it, I'm gonna buy it. So there's that. So hopefully that helps a little bit. I mean, yeah. So, all right. And I do keep all of my. So this is all of my. All of my printing, my label things, I keep those because how do I keep losing my tape? All right, so there's that. Camera, 6 pounds. Yep, a little bit of everything. I mean, I had old pedestal telephone was it 2 weeks ago I sold. I mean, anyway, so yeah, a little bit of everything. What was that? 6 pounds? 6 pounds. 14, 10, 10. Okay. All right. Next comment, and then we got NBA. So let's see. Eric, again, thank you for hanging out and thank you for commenting. Next comment up is Steven Lambert. Steven Lambert. Oh, I did forget to put this in there. Man, come on, man. Steven says, ADH and Commonwealth are a waste of time to watch unless you just watch for the show, not to learn. Yeah, I mean, they're okay. I'm not going to hate on them. They do a very good job, all of them. They do a very good job. I'm not going to hate. But and I actually met Commonwealth when I was in Virginia picking one time. I was up there in that area, didn't even know he was in that area. And I was at my sister-in-law's wedding, and she wasn't getting married till late Saturday evening. So Saturday morning, I went hunting out in his neck of the woods. Didn't know it was his neck of the woods. And don't you know it? I'm at a yard sale, and he comes pulling up with his GoPro, and I had literally just started watching him. It was just so freaking ironic and crazy. But and he actually had put me on. I was on his thing. He promoted my Facebook group. He's a good guy. He's very teacher-esque. If you know what I mean by that, teacher. I mean, he was a teacher, so he's very teacher-esque, very proper, very. I'm just going to say it, overachiever-esque, which is not a bad thing. He's very successful because he's overachiever, and I'm just your average Joe. I'm not an overachiever like he is. He is your definition almost of overachiever, but he executes and he does a good job. And I don't hate. He does a very good job. And ADH Dave, not so much. I'm ADH Dave doesn't really do it for me. I just watch him because he's more of a shit show, to be honest with you. And well, used to watch, not so much anymore. But again, it's just I don't know. It's again, you're not there are lots of they're good to watch. They do a good job. So they have all those subscribers for a reason. They do something right. So I'll leave it at that. I will leave it at that. All right, so next one up. That was 4 ounces for the game. All right, we're on to the PS3. We're going to be just over an hour on this one. Somebody chimed in. Steel Canvas. Stephen, thank you for commenting, by the way. Now you're just saying stuff. Commonwealth always spitting value. Commonwealth does have some pretty good value. He scripts all his stuff. Like, he has a plan of attack. He has topics he goes over. He keeps you up to date on what's happening in the eBay world and reselling community. And again, he does a good job. I mean, he's on top of it all. I'm not hating on him one bit. I'm not an overachiever. Maybe I'm more complacent and I do a good job for what I do, but I don't overachieve and I don't go a lot of extra and I don't do a ton of extra, and he does all the extra, man. I mean, he's good at executing that extra. I remember when he didn't have Facebook and then he launched his Facebook. Next thing you know, he's got tens of thousands of subscribers on Facebook. It was like, holy shit. Because he's consistent. He's about it, man. I mean, he treats it, I mean, I guess you could say like a full-time job, because it is a full-time job for him, but he's that overachiever. He's that person that's just trying to, that's trying to be the top dog right off the bat. And that's great. There's that, that's awesome. I'm cool with just being the manager or the second level manager. I don't want to be the director, but you want to overachieve and be the director. That's cool, man. Maybe that's another way to articulate it, or you want to be you want to be the dude above the director. Actually, let's go even a bit further. I'm cool being the area manager. Like I want to be, I'm cool with being like that middle manager. He wants to be over it all, the vice president kind of thing. And okay, that's cool. You do you, man. I mean, we're not all built for that. I mean, that's just how it is. And so he takes that same mentality, execution, consistency with reselling, and the fact that he dives in and he travels and he's in it all the time and doing it. I also have a whole nother business. So half of my time goes into another business of mine that I have, which is my football helmet business. So that's, I mean, he's got other things he does too. So, but he does a good job, man. I mean, and he's a good family man and he's a good dude. And, again, I can't hate on him at all. ADH Dave seems like a good dude too. He's just kind of a shit show and he kind of shoots by the hip more. He's kind of more like me, just your average dude, just trying to make it, man. You know what I mean? And he got himself wrapped up with Commonwealth. And I think that's what's helped him out a bit is, befriending and being partnered with Commonwealth, to be honest with you. He kind of gets some of that shared success off of him, almost like following his coattails almost, you know what I mean? Like they did their podcast. I don't know who came up with it, but part of, I think their success is the fact that Commonwealth's in with him. Because I don't think ADH is that, you know what I mean? He's ADH. Again, he's like me. He's like your average dude. And he fucks up a lot. And again, it goes back to people watch him because he's kind of a shit show, I would say. But he does a great job too. He kills it in reselling. He's got other sources of income where he does a good job where he's making it work, man. He's making it work. And that's the main thing is he's making it work for him and his family. And that's where it is for all of us. We're making it work. Like for me too, I'm making this work at the level I need it to for me and my family, and considering I got another source of income with another business. And we actually, 3 businesses technically. My wife operates our thrift store. We don't make much out of that. I've mentioned it before, but that's a whole nother thing that we got to, worry about and keep up with. So, and then we like everybody, just like everybody else, we like our time, and it goes back to sometimes we can be complacent. We could do more and we could ramp up and we could do better. I think that's the same for all of us, unless you're Commonwealth, but I'm sure Commonwealth feels like he could do more. Once you're at that level and you're doing it, I'm sure you still have the same thought process. I could be doing better. I could be doing more. he does a hell of a job and has a ton on his plate, but I'm sure he feels the same way. Some of us that have very little things on our plate say the same thing. I could do a better job. I could do more. I could hustle more. I could go harder. I could do, but we get a little complacent. And so I'm not going to lie. I get complacent. I do. And then I go through waves of getting out of complacency and trying something new. And if it works, I keep with it. If it doesn't, then sometimes I have a hard time with consistency. It works, but I can't be consistent. I'm not consistent with it. So I'm human. That's why I'm just your average Joe. I'm not your home run hitter. I'm not your MVP. I'm your solid workhorse. I can do the job. I can do on stuff on my own. I can figure it out, but I'm not going to be an overachiever. I'm going to get complacent at times. I think I'm just human. And so, that's just kind of where I'm coming from. I don't know if that's the mail lady, but that might be a different mail lady. So anyway, this is all raw and unedited. I'm just certainly rambling at this point, but so Steel Canvas says you're just saying stuff. Commonwealth spits value. He does a good job. Again, he does a good job. So, and then there was another follow-up to that comment. Steven follows up to that and says, Steel Canvas, we differ in opinion. Auction Professor and Justin Reseller are great for information. The others are a reality show. I think I've seen Justin Reseller. He's pretty good too. Again, he's kind of an overachiever as well, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with being an overachiever. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I don't want folks to think like being an overachiever is a bad thing. I mean, sometimes I wish I was the overachiever. It's just not me. Some people are built different, and I'm built how I'm built, and I do what I need to do to make things happen. But do I overachieve and go, take it up a notch? No, I know I can, but I'm, it's just, again, I'm just, again, maybe I'm just complacent. I don't know. I'm just your average Joe. We're going to leave it at that. Next one up is Kate Pickrum. Kate Pickrum, 6976. Your expectations of 1 or 2 a day after cross posting is too high. They aren't anywhere near eBay. Well, thank you for chiming in on that, Kate. I appreciate you chiming in. Thank you for bringing my expectations down a bit. 1 a day, 1 every couple days, then maybe, I don't know. But thank you for putting some perspective there. How many, I'm assuming you cross list, so how many sales when you started, how many items are in your store, and how many items do you typically sell a day, and where were you at when you cross listed as far as how many sales, extra, how many additional sales did you get after cross listing? I'd like to know. But you're not the first person that I've heard that from. That probably was a little high in my estimation of getting sales on those platforms a day. I have 580 some items up now for about 33 grand, 32 grand. And I sell typically 1% of my store a day. Normally about 6 sales a day, give or take. Sometimes more, sometimes less. But on average, I'd say about 1% a day is what I typically see. And that's been pretty consistent for a long time. About 1% has been pretty consistent for a long, long time. I got so much bubble wrap, guys. So, again, I think 1% of your store is not bad. I mean, it could always, again, be better for sure. I'm sure some of you guys are killing it, compared to what I'm doing. But, again, it goes back to I'm just your average Joe, man. I'm just your average Joe trying to make it. So, man, I got so much bubble wrap. Beautiful. All right. Yeah, I got so much bubble wrap over the past week. It's crazy. But Kate, thank you for commenting and hanging out. Hopefully you subscribed as well. And let me know if you end up watching this for this long with this video. DY Man. I think you've commented before. I'm pretty sure DY Man's commented before. That sounds familiar, DY Man. I actually got a storage unit about a month ago to hold my inventory and spray the unit down with insect spray. We're talking about the spray, got it. About the insect spray, yeah. Sometimes you bring in little critters with your inventory. It happens. this first. One moment. Beautiful, beautiful. Actually, I got a storage unit about a month ago. Was told ago to hold my inventory and spray the unit down with insect rose spray. Plus, the company I got the unit through said that they spray the facility once a month. More if they have issues arise. I also have this roach killing gel that I bought from Amazon and a bunch of extra roach spray to, on hand if anything I guess pops up. Yeah, that's good that you have you're at a storage place that sprays. When I do storage auctions, I'm not saying they don't spray, but spraying doesn't always take care of everything. And some of the units, some of the storage places I've seen, and gone to auctions too. So, but no, that's good. Good. Yeah, I wish I wasn't something you had to deal with, but it is certainly something you got to deal with when reselling. Is worrying about, unfortunately, at times worrying about bugs, especially if you deal with electronics. Okay, there's that. Alrighty. Oh. 11 pounds. 11 pounds. All right, where are we at? 11 pounds on that one. Charged them for 5. It's 11. They paid $13.70. I'm paying $11.90. So still heck of a deal with a 6-pound difference. Not too bad. All right, next comment up while we pack up the last 2 items. And then I'll probably save the rest of the comments for tomorrow because we still got quite a many. So I'll probably save the rest of them for tomorrow because we're already pushing an hour, well over an hour at this point. And I'm rambling a lot. eBay has glitches, says Hyper23. eBay has glitches. I mean, you're not wrong. I'm sure all the platforms have glitches. So thank you for commenting again. DY comments again. It says when you, this is the one I was laughing at. Yeah, that's right. DY, you have commented before. Now that I see your comment, that's right. He says when I read your comment from Gusto, I started cracking up. When they say touch his inventory, he means he goes and touches his inventory. That's how I replied to that a little while ago. So yeah, I didn't realize that was like legit meaning they're touching their inventory. So yeah, it's a superstition and a joke in the resale community. Different sellers have talked about it in their comments. Yeah, I've never heard of anybody actually touching their inventory, to be honest with you. So that's why it like went over my head. I was like, huh? What is he talking about? I never heard that one before. So good deal. But I appreciate you chiming in on that. Because yeah, I was definitely lost. You know what? I'm gonna do a box with this one. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna do a box with this one. Yeah, I had no idea. I was lost in the sauce on that one. I'm like, touch inventory? What do you mean? Like, give me some more. I don't get it. Literally, go around, touch your inventory like a superstition. I get it. After I read your comment like 2 days ago, I was like, I understand. I've never heard that one before, but I get it. Okay. Alrighty. We're going to use a couple of these because I need to use some of this stuff up. Probably did a little too much. A little overpacked there. The bag I can keep. Where do I keep losing my tape, man? £1. £1. Got it. Beautiful, beautiful. All right, and the last thing to pack is this, which is just going to go in a padded. There's that. All right, we'll touch a few more comments, and we'll probably call it, and touch the rest of them tomorrow because there's still like 20 more messages or 20 more comments. So 8 ounces. Beautiful, beautiful. All right, let's get that in. I already got it for 8. Perfect. $67 for everything. All right. Low battery. Low battery. Sorry, 5 labels could not generate. What? Come on, man. Are you serious? What the beep, beep, beep? Yeah. Dude, I hate that with a passion. It doesn't happen often. But golly, I hate that with a passion. I got to go back and yeah. So anyway, while we're doing this, the next one up, yeah, DY man. Yeah, I don't know why I said I forgot about you, DY man. I'm sorry. You just haven't commented in a while, but I remember you. So there you go. Just reply to yours. Mark says, welcome back, Mark, and thank you for commenting. He says, I killed it Wednesday and now dead again. Amazon took my side for the printer scam. Well, that's good. That's good. I'm glad to hear that, Mark. That's good, man. That's some good stuff. I'm sorry that I'm glad that you killed it. I'm sorry you're slow again. Hopefully you had a good weekend. Yeah, I get it though. I get the whole slow part, man. I mean, it's like I said, it's steady around these parts. I can't complain. It's steady, but if I was meeting goal, I wouldn't be so concerned, but it's meeting goal's been a little rough lately. So let's see, that's the jacket. Now everything's out of order, and I got to figure out what's what because it freaking didn't want to print right. Sandy got the printer or the camera. Oh man, I got to figure out which one is the. Pretty sure it's this one. And then the PS3 is this one. Man, that sucks when it doesn't print the labels the way it should. All right, so those are all accounted for. I gotta do all those again, and these two. That was Naturo. Got it. Okay. So stupid. Excuse me. Let's go back to sales. And orders. Y'all ever have that happen where it doesn't print the labels? That's so stupid. It gives you an error. It's only happened to me like twice, get shipping labels on these. So that was 8 ounces. That was 1 pound. That was 4 ounces. Oh, that was 8 ounces. And the jacket was 2 pounds, right? maybe 3. Oh, 4 pounds on the, no, that's not the jacket. Oh, no, that's not the jacket. That's not the right one. It's this one down here. This one. Right at 2 pounds. 2 pounds. Perfect. So I don't have to worry about adjusting anything. Good, 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 good. Print. So stupid. Alrighty. So, you gonna err on me again? Okay. Don't understand why I did that, but hey. All right, next comment up is Seal Adobo, Seal Sadobo. He says, or she says, Macari. That's all they said was Macari. All right, go Macari. Yay. Macari. Okay, sure. I mean, you know, if Macari is your thing, then hey, that's awesome. I'm glad you like Macari. Thank you for enlightening us and giving us some meat and potatoes behind your comment. That's awesome. Thank you. Next one up is Nano Nanon 737235 says the secret. By the way, thank you for commenting. Let me, before I start just putting labels on stuff. Who's this one? Braylon gets the jacket. Is this one down? This is this one. Let me do these real quick. That is Justin got that. Elise got Naruto. Heather gets the Game Boy. And the last one is Christopher gets the Nintendo thing. All right, so we are good to go. All right, so we'll touch a couple more comments and then we will get out of here and we'll touch the rest of them tomorrow. Nano 7235. The secret sauce, in my opinion, is you need good quality, rare, and in-demand inventory at a very competitive price to get sales on eBay these days. I've noticed so many eBay buyer scammers too. Kind of goes back to, I forget who else commented about the better pictures and quality inventory. I think it was Warpig and things like that. So yeah, I agree. You're not wrong. Sourcing good items, pricing competitively, which I could learn on that one and do a better job. I always say that. But yeah, definitely. I do see a lot of people charge or try to charge stupid prices on eBay, man. Like I said before, you can put a turd up for $1,000 and then everybody thinks turds go for 1,000. But what they sell for? How much have the turds been selling for? Completed listings? None. Absolutely none. So that turd's not $1,000. So yeah, no, definitely to your point, I agree with you. Next one is Morgan says, ever since their last update, which is not that long ago, it has been super slow. Yeah, I don't keep up with their updates and when they do updates and what the updates were and all that kind of stuff. But you know, Morgan, I'm sure updates, just like anything else, have their pros and cons. Nicholas, I think Nick Lou 996. Thank you for commenting. Thank you all again for commenting as well and chiming in. Some of you have given us some good meat and potatoes. Others, I appreciate the comments, and others, I just, you know, we'll just keep it moving. Like I don't know what to say. But Nick says Commonwealth owns Dibbits. I did see that, and I actually downloaded this. It's an app you have to download. It's not his app, but it's an app that allows third party resellers to set up their own like community district. I think is what it's called. District, if I remember correctly. I just downloaded it like 2 days ago when I saw your comment. So yes, so Nick, you're right. It's District is the platform or the app, and District is the way I perceive it, just dabbling into it a little bit and kind of joining it and signing up for it, is there's a bunch of different storefronts or like communities. So like his is Dibbit, that's his community. So I saw that because I was like, what do you mean he's got his own app? He's got his own thing. So yes, it's like his own community he has in there where you can go live and resell, and he's active in there and all that kind of stuff. So pretty cool. It's a pretty cool thing. I didn't know that type of thing existed. So it's not really his app. District is its own thing. And then he's got his own community within District. So like I could do my football helmets in District and build my own community in there if I wanted to. So I thought that was kind of cool. In fact, I thought to myself, I should probably do that, because then I don't have to worry about eBay. I can have people come over to District, and it's like an open platform. It's pretty cool. So I don't know if there's fees or anything like that. I didn't get into that. I just kind of just scratched the surface of it, joined it, and just dabbled around, joined his community, or his storefront or community. But I've seen there's others you can join in on, that have tens of thousands of people in them. So pretty cool. It's kind of almost like groups on Facebook. It's almost like his own group kind of thing that you can live sell and stuff like that on, which is cool. So anyway, and then they call the train thing, where like they hand off the live to different sellers. So like X sellers got a 30-minute block, and then they train it to another seller. And so like Commonwealth will train to like ADH Dave, will train to like Lucy Picks and blah blah blah, all the other ones, kind of thing, and they'll train off each other, which is kind of cool. So yeah, it definitely, I can see it having its pros and cons as well. It's a cool thing, that's for sure. It's definitely something different. So thank you for enlightening me a little bit on that, because it made me go down that rabbit hole a little bit. Fed up Ben. Yes, it's slow. Been on eBay UK since 2001. Oh, Fed Up Ben. Well, Fed Up Ben, I appreciate you commenting all the way from the UK. That's what I'm talking about. Got some international action. Thank you. Yeah, it's been a bit slow for me from what I've been used to over the course of this whole year. We've had its ups and downs, and I'm still selling more overall than I did last year. So I bitch sometimes, but I got to remember, like, actually I'm selling more than I did last year, but it just feels slower. I think part of it is my average dollar amount's gone up. Last year I sold, my average sale was like $32, and this year it's like 57. So even though I'm getting less sales, I'm selling items at a higher average per sales cost or rate. So I think that's what's helping me out a bit. We're going to go ahead and wrap up here in a minute, because hour and a half is a long time. Let's see. Peter 5496 says, "Are you going to start every video with apologizing for the sound?" Yes, Peter, absolutely. I sure am. Yes. I don't know what your comment was. Because I mentioned the sound for a second. In one video. I think I've done it maybe in a couple videos possibly, but normally I don't talk about the sound. But yeah, you know what? Just because you're being a smart ass, yeah, every video I'm gonna talk about the sound at the beginning of the video. Yes. Don't watch if you don't like it. I don't know what to tell you. Again, what's the point of that comment? I don't get it. Stone your doors, stone you doors 8819. Yes, it's called Biden admin. Nobody has the money to buy stuff anymore, man. We got to turn it political, don't we? I'm gonna actually thumb down your thing. I'm not even gonna give you a heart. Stony outdoors. Yeah, I can't read apparently. Yeah, I don't agree with that at all. Look at the stock market. Look at your investments and your 401ks. And if stuff is, I'm not saying the economy is great, but it's not as bad as people keep putting it out there to be. Is there a lot of broke people out there? Yeah, but there's always a lot of broke people out there. So that being political, we don't need political shit in here. That's not what this is for. We don't. Biden, Trump, I could give two fucks about either one of them, to be honest with you. Don't give two shits about either one, as long as our country is doing good and people in it are doing good, which right now, overall, some are, some aren't, but that's the story forever, and for every country for that matter. Could things be better? Absolutely, but I don't believe it's got anything to do with Biden, and I don't believe like a switch is going to turn on if Trump gets elected. Like all of a sudden a switch is going to turn on and everything's going to be great. Like, no, doesn't work that way. That's not how things go. Anyway, crazy how Biden did this to the entire world. So much power, says V2. Yeah, right. And Stony Outdoors says, yeah, America is the main consumer of most things. I would say Europe has a pretty, I'm gonna thumb down that too. We consume a lot and purchase a lot, but I lived in Europe people buy shit over there just like they do over here, man. So I mean, it's we are probably the number one, yes, but there are other countries that buy stuff just they're not far behind us. They're more consumer driven societies, which we are one of them, that's for sure. But Europe ain't too far behind us. South America, in some places, it does have more. There's some places that are pretty bad and other places that are pretty good. So I don't know. All I'm gonna say is it's I don't think anything is I don't think it's really related to politics. I'll just leave it at that. We'll keep it moving. How many more comments we got? We got quite a few more. You know what? I think we're just gonna hammer these out. Fuck it. Moonshine says it's slow. Lots of things going on. People have less money, but it's also the time of the month. It's typically slow at the end of every month. People run out of money, don't get paid until the beginning of the month, and all things you said adds up. On hottest selling, I think you're supposed to be items always sell quick, but it's harder to find. Lower prices, lower price lower prices and run sales, and keep listing, of course. I agree. Moonshine, thank you for commenting. Appreciate it. some good feedback there, or some good insight there. Thank you, and thank you for commenting. Stony Outdoors, you too. Thank you for commenting, but I don't think politics has anything to do with it. Sunday Rad. People are waiting to see how the election goes, not spending. I own a brick and mortar. Economy slow, always ups and downs. Agreed. 100% agreed on that. 100% agreed on that. There's always ups and downs. It doesn't matter who's in office. There's always ups and downs. I think people, Trelina, I think people, thank you for commenting as well. I think people are just hoarding their money to get ready for Christmas shopping. I imagine it'll pick up soon. I hope so. I hope it'll pick up a bit. I'd like to hit goal a few times by the end of the year. That's for sure. X Globs, it's because you are selling low quality items. Is it because I'm selling low quality items, or are you generalizing that? Because I don't think I have low quality items. So I'm going to try not to take it personal, because I was generalizing the comment. So I think you're generalizing your statement, but I don't think I'm selling low quality items. But you're not wrong. If you are selling low quality items, that could very well be why you're having trouble on eBay. I hope if you're directing that toward me, enlighten me. What could I do better then? If it's me that you're referring to, that I'm selling low quality items, then what types of items would you like to see me start selling that's so much better? I'd like to know. Enlighten me. Give me some meat and potatoes there. John the Bandit says nobody has extra funds for the hobby stuff lately. People can barely pay their bills. I think that's a generalized statement. Again, there's lots of people that are good and fine and well and spending money everywhere and anywhere, and there's people that can barely pay their bills. I don't think it's any different. I said it an hour and a half ago. I don't think it's any different than any other period of time. It just, people like to generalize because, it's easy to just say that than it is to really kind of figure out what is it. Again, is that a small part of it? Sure. There's people out there struggling. Yeah. But there's always people out there struggling. Doesn't matter when the time is, what is happening in the country. There's always times where people are in a bad place. Fuck, they've been talking about recession for the past 4 fucking years at this point. Shit. It's you know what I mean? But have we actually had a legit recession, bad? No. Not like the 2008, or was it 12, 2000, whenever it was. You know what I mean? When things got, or the housing market crash or something crazy, we haven't had anything crazy go down or happen. Could something happen soon? Maybe. Who knows? But I don't think, again, I don't think it's any worse now than any other time. It's just, that's an easy blanket statement. But John the Bandit, thank you for chiming in. I appreciate it. 803 resells, 2 major hurricanes in the southeast, Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, Tennessee. That's right in my neck of the woods, North Carolina. Also a month now. We are still not back to normal. I agree that has a little chunk of the country, or maybe a decent chunk of the country, that's in not spending money like they would have because of those things going on. You're not wrong. That could certainly have a little bit to do with it. Thank you for your constructive input and what could be causing some of the problems, because you're not far off there. There's lots and lots and lots of people that are displaced, and instead of buying stuff, they're worrying about how they're going to have heat tonight or electricity or food. So 100%, because their house is ruined or they're staying in a hotel, so they got other things to worry about than shopping and spending money. So that's that's good feedback. That's good constructive feedback on why sales could be slow. I like it. 803 resales. Thank you so much for commenting. It's Matt 22105. I used to buy a lot of stuff on eBay, rarely bought from Amazon. Now it's the reverse. Amazon is usually cheaper and free shipping with Prime. I disagree. I mean, it depends what you're buying. So I'm not gonna totally disagree. I agree and disagree. It depends what you're buying. eBay just can't compete. And eBay used to have a lot of the one-offs and used to sell stuff reasonable. Now it's mostly just stores with China-made items. I agree with you there. That you're not wrong there. That's like my joystick I mentioned earlier is one of those China companies, and their customer service sucks. And anyway, so yeah, you're not too far off, but there's still a lot of really good stuff and really good deals, and a lot of stuff that you can get cheaper on eBay. So I'd say that's more of a generalized statement. But Amazon is certainly the big dog in the room. That's for sure. So appreciate you commenting once again. It's Matt. I'm me. N. Thank you for commenting, and says, as a seller and buyer from all platforms, I dislike eBay the most. Kind of hate it. Well, to each his own. I get it. I like eBay because I can buy stuff on eBay that I can't get on other platforms, or can get it now, in versus other platforms. But that's, again, to each his own. That's opinion. But I appreciate your opinion. Thank you for chiming in. Wheels MC Deals. Ace. I sell overpriced one-ofs. Took a break after a few hundred sales. Would hate to think eBay is failing. I don't think eBay is failing. It's just there's just more attention in other places. I think that's the reason. More attention in other places. And last comment. Literally, the platform is that literally the problem is that there are so many reseller podcast videos, and everybody thinks that they can sell now. It was cool when people would do it, and there was not much information, but sadly everyone is just telling everyone, so it is watering everything down from buying discounted goods and goodwill to being able to sell. I disagree, J-Dad, by the way. I don't think I shouted you out. I disagree, J-Dad. If you're a true reseller, the problem is not getting stuff. The problem is getting rid of stuff. So the fact that there's plenty, like I said it before, there's plenty of room at the top of the mountain, man. There's plenty of room. It's just, what avenues are you going to go through? So like my next strategy is selling on other platforms and cross listing. That may or may not be a way for me to bump up sales, but I would imagine it's going to help. It ain't going to hurt. Maybe my other strategy is to go live on Whatnot to get rid of certain things like those wrestlers I mentioned before. Go on and do a show of just wrestlers, $1 a piece, get them out of here. Make a few dollars and get them out, because I'm already well in the green on what I've picked up. So now it's just get rid of the rest. So it's those different strategies to boost up your sales. I don't think it has anything to do with it being watered down or too many resellers or too many podcasters or YouTubers telling people about all this stuff. Again, there's plenty of room at the top, and there's plenty of shit out there, and there's plenty of people selling and getting rid of stuff. If you're really into reselling, it ain't hard getting the stuff. It's hard getting rid of the stuff. And that's always been the problem. I've been doing this full-time 8 years, but I've been buying and selling on eBay since 2000. It's not getting the stuff isn't the hard part. It's getting rid of the stuff. And so it doesn't matter what economic condition, political, money, whatever's happening in the country, or all these different things that are happening. It doesn't matter. Getting stuff ain't the problem. It's getting rid of it. So anyway, that's the last comment. But I do appreciate you chiming in, J-Dad. I do disagree. We can agree to disagree, and that's fine. I appreciate the input from all of y'all. I see the video did very good, but now it's dropped way off. So I don't imagine we'll get a ton more comments from this video. But if y'all have any questions, if y'all have any rebuttals, if you have any extra insight, if you have anything about reselling as a whole on how to do things, or anything I can help with, I'll be glad to help. That's what I'm here for. Good video, good comments. I appreciate the engagement. Hopefully y'all like the content. This is a longer video than normal, obviously, an hour and 40 minutes. So we don't normally go that long. We don't normally have 40 plus comments. And so there's that. So that's all I got to say. I'm going to jump off of here. Thank y'all once again. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't. And I'll be back tomorrow. Assuming we got sales, I'll be back tomorrow, guys. So we'll see y'all in the next one. Bye, everybody.